Here we are in Scratch, and we are going to do some programming and creation within Scratch. So up here at the top, we have the Create next to Scratch. You do have to make sure that you allow Adobe Flash to work on the site. So when we open the Scratch creation up here, you can name your programming. So we're going to name this test. A few things about this. This is the stage. So this white area is the stage. This is where your creations come to life, where you will be animating and actually seeing what you program. This is the blocks palette. So in the blocks palette, these are the blocks that you are going to use for coding your projects. And we'll go through that a little bit more in detail. Over here on the side, this is the scripts area. This is where you drag blocks and snap them together, and this codes your sprites. So speaking of sprites, down here, this is our sprites, or like our little characters. When you are in Scratch, we always they always start a new Scratch with a cat sprite. That is just like their main character that they use. If you want to use a different sprite, you can go over here and choose the library, and within the library you can then choose something else that you want. So maybe I want to use the beetle, so I'm going to select the beetle, click OK, and my beetle is now one of my sprites that I can program. Further, you can paint new sprites. So with the little paintbrush, I could draw something. So over here, let's see, I'm going to draw this beautiful smiley face, and I'm going to add him to the library. Well, let's just say okay. He is over here now. Really fabulous looking sprite, right? So with this sprite, I can select it, and if I want to make it smaller, well, I should technically be able to shrink it. Sprite, shrink. Now, you have to be really careful about where you select. Sorry. Well, either way, I decided I don't really like this sprite, so I'm going to actually delete him. So I use the scissors up here to delete. You can upload pictures from a file. So if you have students that create things in another design website, or they have drawn pictures in Paint or something like that, they can actually upload them. And you can also upload pictures from the camera. So you can take pictures of maybe a drawing that a student has completed. Alright, so these are your sprites, and when you have one selected, you can program them. So I am going to try to program this cat, and I'm going to have him walk for 25 steps. So I have dragged over my block and dropped it onto my canvas or my palette here. I'm sorry, my scripts area over here. And now if I want to see what he does, if I click it, it will run that program, and he just walked 25 steps. You can tell over here by the X and Y coordinates. So he started at 0, 0, and now he's at 25X, 0Y. I can move him. I can have him start over here at negative 159X, negative 5Y. When I'm over with my mouse, my cursor, when I'm pointing on an area, down here you'll be able to see what the X and Y coordinates are. So if you really want them to move, like for example, you wanted the cat to move in front of the beetle, then I can have the cat move a certain number of steps, or change X, add 30 X's, and change Y by 5, whatever it is. Then you can get him to move where you need him to. Let's see. You can tell that if I wanted to delete a block, I just drag it off of the script area and it will delete. Let's see. There are tons of different scripts that you can go through. These are all the different blocks that you can control with. Costumes, each character can have different costumes. You can add things, you can draw them. So maybe I want to create a new costume. I can see in costume 1 the cat is like walking. In costume 2 it's like he's jogging or running. You can add sounds, so you can use your microphone to add new sounds and program with those. So it's really just a great area to be creative and animate stories and projects and games, whatever you choose. I think that the next thing that we're going to go through is how to use your coding cards in your classroom and be able to have students work from there. So meet you in the next lesson.